for Yarnspinnerstales. For years, I've used that name on the internet to release podcasts, and that was mostly about spinning. That's why it says yarn spinning, because it was talking about anything that would use fiber, anything to make and create yarn by spinning. But Yarn Spinner's Tales has somewhat of a different meaning for me. It's about telling a tale. It's about a story. And sometimes it's a story behind that yarn. Sometimes it's a story about how I got the fiber and what I did with it. But sometimes it's just plain old musing on my part. I had that situation this last January when I did some thoughts on the fact that the year 2020 just seemed to suggest to me that it was a year of perfect vision. I had no idea at the time that that would mean something totally different was going to happen with Yarn Spinner's Tales. But as we always do around June, spinners get together to do an event together that is called the Tour de Fleece. It's in conjunction with the Tour de France, obviously, and when the France race was actually running and the bike riders were riding, we would spin our wheels and make yarn. And we would take the 3 long weeks to really spin as much as we can or meet some challenges when they were climbing the big mountains. So when this came about, and I know I'm live. Thank you, Fiber Pixie. Oh my goodness, she just said, I can see you. It works. That's another Yarn Spinner's Tales. It's a huge long story and it's not for this introduction. So anyway, how I got here was you sign up for teams on Ravelry for the Tour de Fleece. And they're always listed in a group, and you can just browse and look at all the teams and what they are all about. And I ran into one called Team Twitch. And I thought, now I think I know what Twitch is. I think I know it's a gaming platform through Amazon. So I clicked on it and looked at it and went and talked to a couple people, and I found out about streaming. I had no idea. I always thought it was just game playing. I had no idea that it was a chance for people to actually see another person. Well, my whole thing about the podcasts have been teach you something. And that's been years and years and years, 12 years in fact, of trying to explain something in hundreds of words. And when I watched one of my live streams this time and saw that the community is starting to build on Twitch of people who are makers, they're spinners, they're doing all sorts of crafts, and they're inviting people to come and watch and chat with them and develop a community around that craft and around that maker. It just seemed perfect for the next step for Yarn Spinner's Tales. So that was my vision that came out of this perfect year of 2020 vision, was to take Yarn Spinner's Tales away from just the static audio and put a face to it. And here it is. This is just an introduction tape, and I will be setting up streaming schedules. I have the idea that I would like to reach out to everybody that I have developed as listeners to the podcast through Ravelry or however I can get the word out through the podcast, and have them find me here, and we can have a true spin-in. We can meet once a week, and I'll have something that I'm working on. I'll talk all about it. It might be something that I can teach, something new that somebody doesn't know. It can answer questions. It can be a lot of different things. Or most of all, it can be a chance for us to really, truly talk to one another immediately or over the next 2 weeks. The way these Twitch streams work is that you have 2 weeks to watch it. As long as I stay a small streamer, I only get to have those streams either live, like right now, or held on Twitch for 2 weeks. And then they're gone. I can make some clips, and when I teach something, that's what I'm going to do. Let's say I have decided to do some fiber with my hand combs. Want to know how to hand comb fiber? Well, I can save that little part, and those will always be there. So those will be the teaching clips. It's very similar to what you see people doing on YouTube now a lot. And I just decided that I wanted to be a part of this blooming community here on Twitch. So, as those of you who are listeners have heard me say for 12 years, until later, happy spinning. I'm so happy it works.